Hello everybody, it's Sarah and today I'm going to review the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series by Rick Riordan. Percy Jackson and the Olympians consists of The Lightning Thief, The Sea of Monsters, The Titan's Curse, The Battle of the Labyrinth and The Last Olympian. But I'm going to concentrate on the last three books because I read the first book almost 1.5 years ago and the second book 1 year ago, so I can't remember as much. I am going to do a general spoiler-free part for anyone who has not read any of the books. Percy Jackson and the Olympians is a middle grade fantasy series following Percy Jackson, who one day discovers that he is actually a demigod and his father is Poseidon. And so in each book he goes on a quest to find something, to do something, like whatever quests are. He finds friends and they are a kind of retelling of the ancient Greek legends and mythology. So as I said, this is a middle grade series, but you can read it at any age. You might not enjoy it as much if you're older. For example, I really enjoyed this series, but because Percy Jackson is 12 in the first book and then it's like 1 year per book, and because of that age I couldn't really relate to the characters as much as I can in other books. And actually I am really sad that I only read this series now and that I didn't discover this series when I was 12, because from the age of 8 onwards to about 14, 15 I was obsessed with Greek mythology. And when I say obsessed, I mean obsessed. Like the only thing I read was Greek mythology, but like the children's version because I wasn't old enough for the originals. And so I would really have loved this series at that time. And if you know as much about Greek mythology as I do, it's good and bad at the same time. Because it's good because of course you know a lot of the monsters, a lot of the legends, you know the original stories, you can compare them to the quests of Percy Jackson. But at the same time, for me, it took away a lot of the suspense. It's worse in the Heroes of Olympus, which I read now. But because I got all the references to certain monsters and to certain gods and storylines in Greek mythology, I could tell pretty much at the beginning what was going to happen in the book and who they would have to face. So it kind of took some of the fun away. But at the same time there is a prophecy in each of the books and it was so much fun, like trying to solve the riddle of the prophecy. And I loved Percy in this whole series. He is a very snarky, sarcastic, funny character. But at the same time, even at the beginning, I didn't feel like he was 12. At least I never met a 12-year-old that funny. My favorite book of the whole series was the last book, The Last Olympian, and my least favorite, I have to say, is The Battle of the Labyrinth, which is the fourth book. From this point onward, I would recommend it that you have read the book that I am talking about. First, let me get into The Titan's Curse. I really have to say goodbye for those who have not read at least up to this book. I was really bummed that Annabeth wasn't a part of this book because she's my favorite character. That is probably because my favorite Greek goddess is Athena, who is her mother. But at the same time, I really enjoyed the hunters of Artemis. Although it's kind of illogical for me why they're called hunters and not huntresses. I thought Thalia was really annoying in this book. I'm really happy that she isn't annoying in the later books. But in this one she was just like fighting with Percy all the time. Also, Zoe was a little bit annoying at the beginning, but I really liked her development towards the end when she warms up to Percy and everything. But the ending, I have to say, is what bothers me the most, because I just find it illogical. Even if the flaw of the children of Hades is that they hold a grudge, why would Nico blame Percy? Also, I have to say, Apollo is by far my favorite god. He's just so funny, and I'm so looking forward to the Trials of Apollo, which is published this year, which follows Apollo as he is transformed into a mortal boy. And if he keeps that humor, I think that's really funny. Next, I am going to talk about the Battle of the Labyrinth, and again, you should have read up to this book if you don't want to be spoiled. So, the Battle of the Labyrinth, as I said, is my least favorite of the books. I thought it was kinda slow because they get into the labyrinth at the very beginning and then they stay in it, and it's just a little bit annoying. I figured out who Quintus was like at the very beginning when it was said that he had this like dove, the mark of the dove. I thought, okay, either he is Daedalus or Icarus, and I thought he would probably be Daedalus because Icarus died. So again, that was a kind of a bummer. For me, I loved Mrs. O'Leary. She's an awesome pet. I would love to have her as a pet. That would be like so funny. And Tyson is such a sweetheart. He is such a sweetheart. I think, how can you think that Cyclops are bad if you know Tyson? You know what I mean? That's just impossible. Now I'm going to talk about The Last Olympian, and you should have read the complete series if you don't want to be spoiled. So first of all, I just loved that The Last Olympian was Hestia. I think that was pretty awesome because she's a really cool goddess. She's just such a sweetheart. Why would she give her place up for a god like Dionysus? Seriously, that's just like, So, the battle was really intense. I felt it was like over intense, but okay, this is a children's series, so I can't expect it. But actually, I would have wanted for at least one of the main characters, not like Percy or Annabeth, but like one of the characters we care about a little bit more than Beckendorf or Selena. Selena? Is she called Selena? Beauregard to die. So, but again, it's a middle grade series, so that would be too much for the children, I guess. I really liked the ending with Luke being the one who killed Kronos, basically. And yeah, I thought this was the perfect ending to the series, and I wouldn't want to have it any other way. So that is all I have to say about this series. Tell me your thoughts on this series. Tell me who is your favorite god, who is your favorite character, what is your favorite book, and I hope I'll see you soon. Kiss kiss!